Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and family members of Mr. David Charlton. I am Mrs. Jervy Wrightson, or you may know me as Khaled Karen, and I will be the master of ceremony for tonight's program. Again, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the family members of Mr. David Charlton. David Salon family and community, are you all here? We also have relatives of Mr. David Charlton who flew all the way from the UK, Miss Angela, Helen, Leigh, Cameron, Uncle Jeff, Auntie Margaret, and of course, Laura, the children, Aiden, Evan, and Dylan. We also have, of course, Miss Joy Casabuena and the Casabuena family. We are all gathered here tonight to celebrate the life that was well-lived, love, legacy, and of course, the memories that we all have with Mr. David Charlton. And before we proceed to the actual program, I would like to request each and every one of you to think about your best memory with Sir David, and I would like all of you to give him a very big round of applause. We have people who are very close to Sir David who will give their eulogy, their experiences, and what impact Mr. Charlton has made to their lives. And for the very first speaker, we would like to call on a very good friend of Sir David, Mr. Dilip Budrani.
Thank you very much. I've known David for about close to 38 years, and I've known the family as well. It's very difficult to put all the memories in 2 or 3 minutes, but everything that he has done towards people, myself and his friends, his family, his employees, has always been so giving. He is in my, I wrote this in my Facebook page, and I said he's a man for others before anything else. And he's always touched people's lives, and ang dami niyang mga ginagawa para sa mga kapatid niya, sa mga kapatid niya sa trabaho niya. And lahat ng ginagawa po niya ay buong puso niyang binibigay. So for us, I know there are a lot of speakers, and I've had my share in my eulogy, and I said this a few days ago, but I just want to make a parting message that let's have the David in us. Let's have the generosity in us. Let's have the love that we have towards our friends, our family, our colleagues, our workers. And we only have great things to say about David, and every time he crosses someone's lives, it's always so meaningful, no matter how short, whether you meet him for a minute, whether you meet him for a day, for a cup of coffee or for a beer or everything, it's just so much warmth that he has shared towards the person he is. And I also mentioned this the last time, but he's so inclusive, and he does not shy away from from whatever background you come from, whether you're rich or poor or whatever. He's always had that warmth. So my just parting message is, let's keep up the spirit, let's keep that candle, let's keep the flame going, and put a little of David in our hearts, in our minds and souls, and have that in our lives. Marami pong salamat.
Thank you very much, Mr. Budrani. You can just leave the mic there. So Mr. David Charlton is a man for others. Next to speak about his memories and love for Sir David is a very good friend, and he's also like a brother to him, Mr. Terry Huckenhull.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm going to find this extremely difficult because I've been given 5 minutes. 5 minutes to try and sum up a friendship of 35 years, a life of 69 years, of his friendship, his generosity, his companionship, and his genuine caring about other people. I could recount to you this evening hundreds and hundreds of different tales, of times when David and I have gone through difficult times together, of times when we've laughed until we've nearly cried. He's been a complete part of my life for 35 years. I will miss him immensely, as I know every single one of you in this room will do too. He is and has always been a man for all of us. There is not a single person in this room. In fact, I do not believe there is a single person in the Philippines or any other part of the planet where David has put his feet who would not walk away from a meeting with David, a friendship with David, an association with David, who would not have positive things to say about him. There's not one person I can think of who in any manner whatsoever could find anything bad to say about David. He was, as I say, an amazing friend, a great family man. I'm very, very proud to have been considered to be part of Joy's family and to be considered to be important to Joy's family, and also, of course, to be part of Angela, Laura, Lee, and Helen's family as well. They've embraced me, Joy's embraced me, and it is testament to the friendship that we've had over all these years. I said 2 nights ago, and I'll wrap this up now, but I did say this a couple of nights ago. Everybody in this room has been touched by David. Everybody will take away from your relationship with David his generosity, his kindness, and his genuine caring about you all. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Huckenhull. Our next speaker is an uncle, mentor, and like a father to Mr. David Charlton. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Jeff Barwick.
Hi, everyone. This is my first time that I've ever given a eulogy, so a little bit jilted and a little bit sort of feet as it goes. I originally came with the idea of that I was going to share with you some memories of David when he was younger, which none of you will know about. Only myself. I'm the only one that's known him for 69 years. And I have some great memories, and I had a list that I was going to use, which when the producer saw it, I had a panic attack because it was going to take about 25 minutes to get through. So I've deleted a lot of it, but I put some of the stuff in that I remember well and will always remember. The first thing that comes to my mind, I remember we lived, that was David, his mum, and his sister, and myself and my mum and dad. We lived in a house next door to each other. It was a terrace house, and money was quite tight then. There was not a lot of cash around, and we were very close. We were a close family, and my task. Oh, right. You weren't meant to hear, Terry. It's all right. We lived quite close to as I said, each other, and my task was to take him to school every morning, and there was him and his sister, and they were never ready for school when I used to collect them. I used to go into work, and I used to go to collect them, and I used to get on the bus and take them down to the town centre and drop them off at the preparatory school where they were going, and they were always late. So I would finish it with one under each arm, and at those days I could do it, and I would run like hell to catch the bus, and they would hold it up, they would stop you until you were there, take a running jump on the bus, and as soon as I landed on the platform, they used to get handed over. Don't you hate amateurs? Never mind, I'll get better. Having followed Dilip and Terry, what more could I want? And I used to run and jump on the bus, And they would take Susie, which was his sister, they would take him from under each arm. They would grab them, the passengers would sit them on the knee. Are you all right, Pet? Are you all right? And I'm wheezing and panting like whatever on the platform, could hardly move. And they were sitting happy as Larry. And we did this for quite a few years, and that was my main goal in life for a while. And then we generated 2 holidays, camping holidays. And my mum and dad had a caravan up at Finkel Abbey, which was a wrecked abbey. This gets back to David eventually. And David used to finish up there with a few of his friends. And there was no electricity, there was no gas. And they used to cook with a cattle gas heater. And they used to go missing for the day. Then they would come back and they would sleep it off. And then during the night they had the little adventure in Finkel Abbey, which was a nearby wrecked church or cathedral or whatever it was. And they went cruising around in the middle of the night with white shawls on. And all the campers came out looking with the torches to see who it was. And of course they had disappeared, as they usually did. And we had quite a few adventures and sort of goings on. This is the sort of thing that they did when they were a kid. And I had lots and lots more to tell you, but I could go on and on and on. But he was a great kid. He was an adventurous kid, and we were like that. You know, to me, he was the son that I never had, and remained that way for the rest of my life. And to be honest, I thought he was going to come to my funeral. I didn't think it was going to be this way around, but here I am. But he's a great lad, and he continued to be a great lad. He eventually became my apprentice because I had a salon, and he worked there with various devious goings on. You all know him, particularly those who work for him, how sort of steamish he was and pedantic. Everything had to be correct. And we put him in for his first competition, his hairdressing competition. And he was all nicely prepared and all set and ready to go. And at those days, it was before the blow drying days, you all had rollers in. You know, you didn't blow dry, it was that far on. And right, you have 15 minutes to finish your plea. You will start now. So he jumped on and he knocked the girl's table next to him on the floor. And her gear went into clatter, and somebody else's gear went to all the clatter. And we were all scrabbling around on the floor, trying to find all the combs and the brushes, and everybody else is starting the hair. And by the time they said, right, your time is finished now, and his model stood up and she looked as if she'd been dragged through a hedge backwards. But that was his first adventure for hairdressing, so that's something that I used to taunt him with afterwards, and he used to come, didn't tell the girls, didn't tell the girls. But it was the way it was. But we had some success that particular day, because he actually took part in the rock and roll competition, and his mum, Audrey, was his partner, and they won. So we came away with a trophy for the best rock and rollers of the night. But our hairdressing expertise was next to nothing. And he sort of progressed in his hairdressing career and became very proficient and successful. But he was ready to move on, and he decided that he was going to go and sort of see the world. And he came to me and said, I want to stretch my legs a bit, Jeff, what do you think? And I said, oh, you have a go, son, whatever you want to do. I said, you know, if it works out, you know, great. If not, you know, you always have a job here. So he went his different ways. I think he went to Hong Kong first, and then he finished up at the Philippines, which was your fortune. And I got all the tales back and all of the adventures that went with it. And it was some great funny stories that used to come back. But he obviously loved the place, and he used to say to me, this is where he wanted to be, this is where he wanted to be. And I'll use my notes if I can, so I can recall, because I don't want to miss anything. But he always lived his life to the full. He was always on the go. He never missed anything. But he used to say to me that old age is no place for softies, you know, and he lived his life that. For all he wanted action and everything else, you know, he always had time for everyone. And I want to speak to you about his legacy that he left behind. He cared about people. He always had time for them. If I can just mention three people in particular, Steve Rafferty, who most of you won't know, who had a particularly tragic time, lost his wife Brenda, and was literally coming apart at the seams. And David took him under his wing, brought him out here for a month, got him going, still wilting a bit, and then next thing we knew, he had him out to Hawaii, and he lifted the lad, and the lad is now happily remarried, a very, very nice girl who totally understands his past life. But he pulled up Steve, and the marvellous Mary Vick, who had her own tragedy, and I've spoken to Mary, that I've said that I was going to mention her. You know, he helped and supported her. And the last one was a chap called John Graham, who most of you probably don't know, but lived out in the Philippines and had a Philippine wife and died tragically a few years ago. But there were complications with her life and complications with finances, and David was there all the time. And this is the sort of guy he was. You've heard Terry speak about the way he was involved with people, and he helped them. He was just there for them all the time. And he used to say to me, if you've got to go, you've got to leave something behind. You've got to leave something behind. And I think he did. He did it. He left behind him job opportunities, which all you good people that work for him and will continue to work, hopefully, with the company. He's left financial security for all the people that were associated with him. He left this all behind when he went. He didn't just go and say, and that's it. But most of all, he left enduring friendships. And these friendships were Bill Terry, Dilip, Thomas, Harley, numerous other friends who were here. And this was part and parcel of what he gave out. Terry was talking about people that he was involved with. But his friendship was something that was really went to your heart, and all the time. And I used to feel this. He used to come out to visit me every year, and never missed. And I used to get telephone calls from sort of 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm still half asleep, you know. And hi, Jeff, you all right? It's not a bad time to ring you. No, it's all right, son. What's happening? And he used to come and give me the gen of what was happening and what wasn't happening. And this was the whole thing about him. He cared about people, and he always had time for them, particularly the people I talked about. So I just would finally like to say goodbye to him. He was someone I loved and admired, and I miss him always. Thank you very much.
Wonderful stories and memories from Mr. Jeff Barwick. Thank you very much, sir. And now let's hear it from Sir David's granddaughter, Cameron Charlton.
So I am the oldest of 6 grandkids by about a decade. We always thought that because of the different times we were all born, the different times of the world and life, that we all got to experience different versions of pops. And for example, Aidan, Evan and Dylan, they live here, whereas Arthur and Etta live in Leeds and I live in Sunderland. We're all quite far away. But there's also the age difference that play a part in how much of pops we all got to experience. he has shaped every single one of us, regardless of the amount of time we've spent with him, of course. But putting some time and thought into the Pops that we all knew as grandkids and would recognize, it's actually the smaller things that truly stood out. As we all know, Pops was a man of action. He, especially when it came to sentiment, talk was cheap to Pops. And he preferred to show his love with the things that he did with his actions, big and small. He used to pull funny faces at us from across the dinner table. And when I was little, he used to swim around the pool with me on his back. And he never complained once about the amount of times he was dunked underwater. He would tease us relentlessly, but always with love. He always made sure that we definitely knew that it was with love. We always knew that. But one of my personal favorites was when he would walk alongside us, he would always have a firm hand on our shoulder. And it would tend to migrate over time up to the back of our necks. And then use it to turn our heads in the direction he wanted us to walk. So he would always lead us, even from behind, even when age caught up with him and made him a bit slow. He was always leading us, even when he couldn't catch up. He always made sure that we had everything we needed, and we never went without. And by that, I mean the smiles and the laughter. There was never a shortage when Pops was involved. And he definitely showed his love by giving us the experiences that we had, allowing us to see the world around us. And he taught each of us how to actually enjoy life and find the happiness even in the simplest of experiences, whether that was shark caging and zip lining, or just dinner in the house as a family, laughing and joking around and talking about life, quiet days playing by the pool. Though when we did go out for dinner, we all know that Pops knew how to order food. Absolutely, he always ordered enough for everyone to share. Nothing, there was always so much for everyone. Leftovers for all, usually for the rest of the week. My point being that when thinking about the versions of Pops we as grandkids experienced growing up, versions that each of us will so fondly remember forever, I sort of realized that in all the ways that matter, we experienced the same Pops as my mum and aunties knew him as Dad, and the same version as Pops as all of you know to be David. I realized many of the examples I've shared are just kind of who he was as a person. He was a universal experience, I feel, Pops. Yeah, he always treated everyone as though they were family, and he would greet strangers as though they were old friends. Even as the years have passed and the world's changed and we've all grown, it seems the way he cared for the people around him has always stayed the exact same. In a way, everyone got to experience Pops and Dad and David in all his charming, sometimes hilariously blunt, cheeky grinned glory, always so unapologetically himself, a quality that many of us grandkids hope to master as time passes, but always having a great example in him from the start. So on behalf of all of the grandkids, me, Aidan, Evan, Arthur, Etta, and Dylan, it's been so incredible to have Pops a part of our lives. And it's also been so incredible to get to share our Pops with all of you. He was truly an irreplaceable part of our lives. And as the oldest grandchild, I've gotten to share so many incredible stories and memories with Pops, and I will take great pleasure in relaying those stories many, many times over the years to my younger grandkids as they get older, as I'm sure everybody else will. As many people have said before,
he will never be forgotten. We couldn't if we tried. So we all love you so much, Pops. You always worked so hard. You never did anything by half. And you did so much for so many people. So we hope that you can rest well, knowing that you well and truly have earned it. And lastly, a promise to continue making memories, because that was the way that he lived life. He lived life to make memories with the people that he cared about. And we promise to make so many that it will take centuries to catch you up on all of it. When we meet again on the other side, we'll tell you about all of them. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Cameron. It's amazing to hear wonderful stories about your pops. Thank you for sharing. And unfortunately, there are people who are special to Sir David who weren't able to make it tonight, but they were able to send us video messages to share their stories and memories with Sir David. Let's all watch this.
We remember you, Amo, not just a remarkable boss, but someone who was a mentor, a friend, and a father figure to us all. You went beyond your role, guiding us with wisdom and warmth, ensuring that we were okay, not only in our work, but in our lives. Your door was always open, not only for work matters, but also for personal guidance and encouragement, and our favorite of all, the Marites ad-lib. Your kindness and unwavering dedication made the workplace feel like home. And you took genuine pride in our successes and well-being, though we mourn your absence. Your legacy will live on in the way it touched our lives. My deepest condolences to Ninang Joy, to Mom Angela, Uncle Jeff, Helen, Lee, Laura, Mother Marivic, Miss Malo, and to the rest of the DSI family. I love you, Amo. See you at the crossroad. And of course, I need to see you at the crossroad, because we will have a lot of one for the road. Cheers, Amo. I love you. Good morning and good night.
Hi everyone, my name is Marit and I used to work for David. I can't believe you're gone. This is probably one of the hardest message I ever done in my life. But I want to take the time to thank you for everything that you've done to me and my family. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being such an amazing leader, a boss, a mentor, a friend, a father to us. There's so much memories to share. I'm sure we don't have the whole day to do that, but One thing for sure, Amo, I remember you used to laugh at me every time I speak in English. I used to laugh at you every time you speak in Tagalog. And we had a deal that I gotta teach you, gotta teach me. Also your generosity, I mean, very unreal, because every time, I know every time you go on a travel, you never fail to bring something simple to us, which I really appreciate. That it is not so hard for you to do, because you're just generous. You know, there's a lot of people that will miss you. And to the family of Amo, Miss Angela, kids, Miss Joy, and to my David's family, I know it's hard to say goodbye, but I'm sure his spirit will always remain for the rest of our life. And one thing I can tell you, again, forever, ever grateful to you, Amo. We will definitely miss you, and you rest in peace, and we love you. Thank you so much.
It is my greatest honor to be a part of the David Salon family, even if for just a short period of time. And I know, Mr. David, you told me that I will be able to run the marketing department myself, because I know you said to me that you'll be helping me to run it, and that I wouldn't know how to do it if I don't try it. And see, I was able to do it all because you were there to help me. And I've enjoyed every single time I have every single moment. And I'm always gonna remember it. Thank you very much. And I always say to you, I love you 8 days a week. Love from Sam.
Hi, Amo. I want to take this moment to speak with you, even though I know that you're no longer here with us. I hope you can feel my sincere gratitude for everything that you taught me, for everything that you did, not only for me, but for my family, and the impact that you left behind, the impact in my life, my family's life. You taught me so much, not only about work, but all about life.
Good evening, everyone. Today we are here to honor and remember Mr. David Charlton. We fondly called Amo, who had an impact on all of us here and abroad. Not only he was such an incredible boss to me, but also a dear friend and a father who was full of love and kindness. There's no one as selfless as him, and I know everyone would agree that he made us feel loved and special and valued. Some of the most cherished moments in life come from working at David Salon and his generosity. I remember one of our first major moments for the company was our trip to Boracay. At madami pang events and troubles with him that I will remember and cherish forever. I love working for Mr. David dahil super duper bait siya, one of a kind boss. Ibang level to the highest level, and watching the salon become successful was rewarding, not just an employee, but because I know it made Amo, Mr. David, happy. Everyone happy as he shares his blessings to everyone. One thing I also remember, I promised him, actually me and Mart, that I would help the business grow and create a building for him. And with hard work, I was able to fulfill that promise with the David Salon building on Cardona Street. I could go on and on with stories about Mr. David, but know that he holds a place in my heart forever. Though we say goodbye to Mr. David today, I know that he lives in us all. And the stories I have of him, I will continue to tell forever. I will miss you dearly, Amo. May promise ka pa sa akin. Magla-lunch tayo when I go back to Manila. You will always be in my heart. I love you forever. Thank you so much, Amo. Thank you. I love you. Rest in peace. Rest well.
At nandito ako ngayon para ikwento namin sa inyo ni Julius kung paano namin nakilala si Mr. David Charlton, who you fondly call Amo. Kami ang tawag namin sa kanya ay Ninong David. Kasi nga ninong namin ni Julius si David sa aming kasal noong 2003. Kami po ni Julius ay host noon ng morning show, yung alas 5:30. I suggested na magkaroon ng isang segment tungkol sa pagsastyle ng buhok. At syempre, inoffer ko yon sa David Salon. And you know what? David Charlton said yes right away without batting an eyelash. Ganun siya kadali nag-decide at ganun kadali kausap. Thank you, David, for the memories. Thank you for styling us through the years. And we're sad that you're already gone here on earth. But your legacy and your memories will always live on. Because wherever you are now in heaven, and whatever you're doing, maybe still styling in heaven, you have always brought out the best in our lives. Rest in peace, David.
We will truly miss him because he is a very good person. He's a good example of a human being.
A great boss.
A great boss, most of all, no?
Yeah.
Surely he will be missed by all the employees of David Salon. Ang ano ko lang is that I hope that God will take care of our boss, David. And I'm sure he will because David is a good person. So makakasiguro na po tayo na mukhang sa langit po talaga siya pupunta. And he will always be a guiding light to the loved ones that he has left behind. And we are confident na kahit wala na si David, the company will continue to flourish through the hands of Laura and Joy, of course. Hindi nila pababayaan ang business. And I'm very optimistic na mas magiging pang successful ang David Salon because he will always be there to guide you, to help you when the time comes na kailangan mo ng guidance para mas mapaunlad ang negosyo. He will be a beacon of hope for all the staff and management of David Salon. And we'll always be here, kami ni Mamu, to support you sa inyong negosyo. Enjoy your time in heaven.
Yes. Rest in peace, Ninong David. And thank you. Yun nga, tulad na sinabi ko, thank you for the legacy.
Thank you for the memories.
Thank you for the memories.
Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng mga tao nagpadala ng kanilang mga video message. Wala man kayo dito ngayong gabi, I'm sure nanonood kayo online. Hello po sa inyo. And now we're down to our last set of eulogists. We will have Sir David's daughter, Miss Laura Charlton.
Well, thank you all for being here. And I know he's up there with a beer in hand, listening to all of the stories of what everybody is saying. And after spending the last couple of years sitting in his office at the end of the day making chismis, after seeing all of the love and everybody arriving here, I can happily say, mischief managed, Dad. Now it's true what everybody's been saying, that we all know him through different names. Bubby, Dad, Pops, Mr. David. Me, when I wanted to wind him up, Daddy, Daddy, where are you? Because I would usually make it in time as he was heading out the door into the bathroom. I had perfect timing every time I wanted to go up and make chismis. But we discussed the chismis in the Philippines. We discussed chismis from England. and we used to update each other on what we were doing on a day-to-day basis. And he never failed to say, "And how are the boys doing at school? What are they doing?" Everybody that has visited him in the past 5 days is a testament to how much love he was able to give out into the world and how much love was given back to him. We're all family at the end of the day. Everybody that sat here in this room over the last 5 days are family, because he touched everybody in a different way, be it as a father figure to the likes of Jola and the other staff that are here. He was never really a boss, because he didn't like that. True to his tagline, basically. He always wanted to bring out the best in everybody, didn't he? After hearing all of the stories, you can hear how much he did bring out the best in a lot of people that have been here in this room. You'll be standing there saying, "Take a deep breath, don't do that," because he doesn't like it when I get too emotional, because I like to make him cry. But I also used to make him laugh. I was the only one that I can say that used to successfully wind him up to a degree. When I was little, I know that I used to torment him just as much as he's tormented everybody in this room. Maybe not so little, maybe a few weeks ago. One time when I was 10 and we went to an amusement park, and there's only the two of us that are adventurous and amongst all of us until Cameron arrived. And it was like, right, come on, we're going to go on a roller coaster. And we did this big roller coaster. And as we were coming off, we got halfway down, and it's a long path, and I said, "Dad, I'm going to pretend to collapse. Catch me, let's see what Mum does." And he was like, no, don't do that. And I just flopped to the floor. And I could see my mum at the end, and my dad's going, "Laura, stop it. Your mum's scared. She's shouting, Laura, stop it." And I was like, no. The time that we entered the elevator, and again, I was a little bit younger, and I used to really try my best to make him blush. I had a shark toy that used to make noises, and a group of people walked in, and I squeezed it, and it made a noise, and he was bright red. Absolutely mortified that I would make these noises in the elevator. Sorry. This was not the deal, Mr. David. This is not the way things were supposed to go. It's a little bit too soon for this. In England, we tell fairy tales to the kids, and a fairy tale that we, being 3 girls, had was the 3 little pigs. And I'm sure you know the story, the 3 little pigs. One lives in a straw house, one lives in a stick house, and one lives in a brick house. And throughout the course of the years, the 3 of us have argued as to who is the one in the brick house. At this point, I've got to say, we've always been the little piggies in the brick house. And this past week has taught me that he was our brick house. He always made sure that we did well. He always made sure that we were being strong. He always made sure that we knew that we could do everything that we wanted, so long as we tried and so long as we persevered. And the girls know the Charltons never give up. Charltons never quit. and we just keep moving forward. Somebody said to me, "Oh, you've got some big shoes to fill." And I don't have big shoes to fill at all, because I'll stand next to them, because I know he's holding my hand. He's holding all of our hand, making sure that we go in the right direction together, because he's still here. He's still here in all of us. Pag nakakita ko kayo lahat may mga ibang stories na dumaan sa akin na in the way na he touched your lives, and every time I see every one of your faces, I can be reminded of what a strong, caring man that he was, and how he cared for you all. I don't have 2 sisters. Magkapatid tayo lahat. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I'm going to say thank you all for coming. I know he's there watching you all and laughing at the stories and enjoying all of the anecdotes. And he's loving all of the photographs that the Polo Tri sent of him in his Speedo. It's a proof that he had abs. He would want everybody to be happy. He would want everybody to laugh. And he wouldn't want anybody to be sad for a long time, because one thing he made sure was he made us all know that there was time for emotions and to take a deep breath. But then as soon as that was done, it was time to smile, it was time to laugh, and it was time to take another deep breath and take another step forward. So, salamat kapatid ah. Salamat sa lahat. Mahal ko kayo. Alam ko, mahal mo siya. Dad? You didn't keep your side of the deal. Masyado maaga to. Pero, as I said earlier, mischief managed. Tulog ka na.
Thank you very much, Laura. It's very heartwarming. Thank you for sharing your stories about your dad. Our last speaker is Mr. David's lifetime partner, Miss Joy Casabuana.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Lahat po tayo nandito para makiramay at iparamdam ang pagmamahal natin kay Amo. I knew it really hurts, and ganito pala talaga yung feeling nung mawala ng mahal at partner sa buhay. Hindi ko dati naiintindihan to, pero now I know. Yung feeling na you were walking in an empty space. And it is very hard, because I know when I first heard that, actually, in-stalk lang naman po talaga niya ako sa Wendy's. Niligawan niya yung mga managers doon. And I really used to hide from him. Hindi ko alam, doon din pala ako nakakatawa, pero sabi ko nga sa kanya noon, yung team song namin na How Did You Know? Pero sinagot naman niya nung when we are together ng Don't Worry, Bobby. Kasi you are the love of my life, which is the song also. I feel like I was breathing yet. I feel like a part of me died too. When David left. Hanggang ngayon, sinusubukan kong isipin wala na siya, pero hindi pa rin tanggap ng isip ko. I'm sorry. He had this crazy, passionate energy that inspired everyone around him. I'll never forget his cheeky grin, his laugh, or his unwavering optimism. He made everyone feel loved and valued. He was more a Filipino, as you all know, than a foreigner. Lagi niya pa ako tinatanong right after lunch, what was for dinner, Bobby? While happily smiling, gladly walang mintes, but I will cook for him always. Someone called me a yaya for him, actually, and that was okay. And for all you know, his favorite dishes, ginataang langka, very Filipino, kinilaw, laing. And he loved those. Tapos, yung pag may tutulo sa shirt niya, walang mintes talaga pag kumakain, I don't know why. Alam niya magagalit ako kasi ako rin naman yung maglalaba nun. Ako rin yung mamamlansya. Kasi nga, gusto ko siyempre, personal service, yung lagi siyang pogi, at lagi siyang malinis. I took care of him and helped him prepare before and after his daily routine and meetings. Kasi sabi ko, wag ganyan magusot, wag ganyan baduy. Sasabihin na naman ng taga-office, ano ba yan, Miss Joy? Bakit ganyan naman yung ginawa mo kay Amo? So we really have very careful. Although it's really very hard to go out with him, kasi sa street sasabihin, oh, Mr. David Salon, tapos mukha na talaga akong yaya. Doon ko lang na-realize, mahirap pala talaga to be with him. Kailangan mo magbihis, kailangan mo mag-ayos. Pero okay na rin lang. And doon ko rin na-realize na ang hirap pala talaga nang wala na siya. I love you so much, Bobby. Alam ko at ramdam ko kung gaano mo rin naman ako. Kamahal. As we mourn, we're also celebrating his legacy. David's spirit will live on through us, pushing us to be bold, creative, and kind. To the David Salon team family, I know we're all heartbroken, but let's keep his memory alive. Let's keep creating, innovating, and spreading love, just like he would want. We'll keep shining even through the tears. Our salon will always be a reminder of David's love, creativity, and passion. David, my dear, my love, you'll always be in my heart. I know I've said this so many times, but for now, I will hold you in my heart till I hold you in heaven. I know one day the sun will shine again for us. Rest in peace. I love you so much. Thank you all very much.
Again, palakpakan po natin si Miss Joy. Thank you very much for sharing your story. Thank you everyone for being here tonight, and to the family members, my deepest condolences to all of you. And again, we're here to celebrate and remember the life that was well lived by Mr. David Charlton. So again, I will ask each and every one of you to stand up and show our love and respect to Sir David. Sir David, maraming salamat po for touching other people's lives. Saludo po kami sa inyo. And again, bigyan po natin siya ng isang napakalaki, punong-puno ng pagmamahal at masigabong palakpakan.